Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, May 25th. Over the next couple of days, we will continue to have very warm temperatures across the Great Basin. Today over mainly the western half of the basin, but will spread eastward on Thursday, covering much of the region with well above normal temperatures. We will have a system moving in which will increase winds over the western side of the Great Basin, also increase winds over central areas with lower humidity, but we'll also have some showers and thunderstorms popping up anywhere from the central Sierra into mainly western Nevada and up into Idaho by Thursday. On Friday, we'll have some wetter conditions over Idaho and Wyoming, with still windy and dry conditions over southern areas of the Great Basin. Right now, our fuels are still most critical over southern areas of the Great Basin, but with these warm and dry conditions, we will see some drying temporarily before more wet weather moves into the region later in the weekend and into next week. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen some precipitation over parts of eastern Idaho into Wyoming, but no lightning recorded across the Great Basin. Our Great Basin fire activity remains light, with just smaller fires popping up across the region. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen some showers in the northern portions of the Great Basin, but generally below normal with respect to precipitation in most areas. Drier spots still remain over southern and western sides of the Great Basin. Looking at some of our ERCs over western areas of Nevada where it has been dry recently, we've seen those ERCs really increase to now well above normal. Over southern areas of the Great Basin, which includes the Arizona Strip, parts of southern Utah, and into southern eastern Nevada, our ERCs are either near or above records for the time of year, so still very critically dry for the time of year, especially over southern areas. Our satellite loop from this morning shows the ridge of high pressure dominating the western Great Basin, which will continue moving eastward across the Great Basin going into tomorrow, again with those warm temperatures and low relative humidities. With the trough moving in off the coast, we will see that increase in winds starting tomorrow. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again that ridge just moves eastward with warm and dry conditions basin-wide. We will see the most critical fuels and low to moderate fire potential over southern areas, but certainly some drying and warming going on over the western portion of the Great Basin as well. Relative humidity will drop into the single digits to low teens across much of the eastern half and southern half of Utah into Nevada. However, winds today will generally be light. We will see winds start to pick up a little bit along the higher Sierra, but for the most part, generally low to moderate winds. Some breezy winds in Wyoming as well and parts of central Idaho, but most gusts in the 20s. As we move into Thursday, that ridge moves further east with that trough approaching the west coast. So again, we will see that increase in winds and a better potential of at least some isolated showers and thunderstorms over parts of western and northern Nevada into Idaho. We don't have any high risk issued, but again, we will see those winds really increase along the Sierra front and also over parts of central and eastern Nevada. Fuels right now are still on the borderline. They have not gone critical in many of those areas, but certainly if we do see some fire starts, we would see that spread with the drier conditions and the gusty winds. As we move into Thursday, relative humidity drops across Nevada and Utah to single digits or low teens pretty much everywhere. Winds, again, will be picking up. The strongest winds will be along the Sierra front with some gusts in the 30s to around 40 miles per hour, with winds slightly weaker but still gusting in the 30s over much of central and eastern Nevada into far western Utah. Again, with those low relative humidities, if we do get some starts, those fires would certainly run with the wind. As we move into Friday, that trough moves over the northern areas of the Great Basin, so we will see cooling temperatures after a couple days of very warm temperatures. We will see that moisture move in more significantly, still gusty winds, but we will see better chances of showers and thunderstorms up north. Down south, we will see those gusty winds and low relative humidity. Right now, no high risk over southern areas, but we will continue to monitor that. Looking at the relative humidity and winds for Friday, so again, single digits down south with those gusty winds in the 30s to around 40 miles per hour. So we'll have to evaluate maybe a couple of zones for some high risk in the south on Friday, but right now holding off. We will also see those winds continue to remain gusty over northern and western Nevada up into southern Idaho. However, we will have some cloud cover, maybe a little bit of moisture and relative humidity coming up a little bit, along with fuels not quite being critical up there yet. But it will be a windy day across the Great Basin. Our maximum temperatures over the next 2 days, again, we will see some well above normal temperatures today, mainly over the western half of the Great Basin, and then spreading across all areas on Thursday. But we will see that cool down starting Friday and then continuing into the weekend and early next week. Any precipitation we see will generally be light and confined to mainly Idaho and Wyoming, although we could see a couple spots in northern or western Nevada if we get some thunderstorms to drop a little bit of precipitation. But again, very spotty and certainly nothing heavy expected. As we move into the weekend, we have yet another trough of low pressure. This one will be quite a bit stronger moving in for the weekend into the Pacific Northwest. So another day of gusty winds. We'll pretty much see gusty winds for the next 5 to 6 days across the Great Basin. But we will see those temperatures cooling with a better chance of some moisture possibly dropping down into northern Utah. So no high risk issued on Saturday. We'll continue to monitor southern areas going through the weekend for some gusty winds and low humidity bordering the southwest area. So again, we'll be watching some of those southern zones. On Sunday, that trough drops further south, so we will see even some moisture possibly down into far southern areas, maybe an increase in humidity at least, with some light showers. Better chances of moisture will certainly be over the northern half of the Great Basin. And then going into Monday, that trough really settles in, so we're looking at, again, cooler temperatures, unsettled weather with the showers and thunderstorms, and some higher relative humidity. Still watching those southern areas, but right now it looks like by Monday, those really dry and stronger winds will be pushed down into the southwest. And similar conditions on Tuesday with that trough moving through. So definitely an unsettled pattern going into the early part of next week, which will minimize fire danger across the Great Basin for a period of time. The 7-day total precip shows precipitation generally over the northern half of the Great Basin. We could see some spotty showers down south, but no significant precipitation is expected over western or southern areas of the Great Basin for the next 7 days. The 8 to 14-day outlook from June 1st through the 7th shows generally near normal temperatures in most areas, but cooler up north still, with those better potential of wetter conditions up north, similar to how our pattern's been, with drier conditions down over southern areas. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.